What's up, fam? Today we are locking in with a reading to see what cycles you need to get rid of, what are you working through right now, and closing out. We're going to start off with some oracle cards to tap in and see where you are in your chemical process, so we can see like what is this gauging into. I was looking through the cards and I pulled from my alchemy oracle deck and we got separation. So with the separation card, we are in the white phase. So the white phase is, there's the black phase, the white phase, the red phase, right? So you're in the middle and you're in that first stage. Now you've been through kind of like a shedding process, and the way spirit was showing that to me is like your shedding process is over. It's like you've shed your skin, but now you are like needing to get it off, right? You've kind of gotten rid of the bulk of everything. It's kind of like when a snake sheds its skin, but like the skin on its head gets stuck or something, you know what I mean? Like you just need a little extra, okay? So you've gotten rid of like the bulk of things that just aren't working for you, but now you're tapping into really refining yourself and getting yourself down to a really pure state of your authentic self. Spirit is kind of showing me like, it's kind of like when you sat down and you've done a lot of the bulk of your shadow work, but now it's time to sit down and refine like the internal, like what type of ideas, what types of intensified world ideas are you subscribing to that aren't serving you, that might be limiting you, etc. So let's see what is really going on and like why this is creating resistance, why these cycles need to be dropped, and what are they. I feel like as we get into this, you're gonna learn so much about like not just yourself, but like, I don't know, I feel like some of you just need something to make sense of what's been going on for like the last few weeks. It's been very intense. Very, very intense. Like the last few months have been intense, but it's not the same level of just like, okay? All right, so we have stepping through. So in this card, I feel like we, okay, so you guys can't see this. Yeah, you can't see this. We're not showing cards. Okay, so stepping through, this energy really gives like you tapping in to a more supple energy. I feel like water is very important. Mermaids might be important when it comes to this path for you, or it might resonate with you. 355 on the clock. I'm also seeing solar plexus chakra. So I feel like both of you got, let me see. Let me bring this together. I feel like right now you are getting ready to expand, right? But it's also taking you deeper into dark waters. Spirit is showing me pressure. You know, the deeper into the ocean we get, it becomes pressurized, right? So I feel like right now you're coming into this pressurized container, right? And it's really intense. You might find yourself being tired. It's requiring a lot of ascension going on for you. And there's also a feeling of stripping while also replenishing at the same time. For some of you, you may have previously felt depressed, overwhelmed, unmotivated, and you still might be having some residuals of that, but your solar plexus is being cleansed out and activated right now. So your inspiration and energy is going to be all over the place for like the next 2 to 3 weeks, but it will pick up and it will lock in, okay? With radical expansion, I see the white dragon here, so it's definitely giving heavy movement and upheaval, lots of quick movement and locking in of certain foundations. I'm also seeing that if there's something that you were really putting a lot of your time and energy into, you might see that stagnate for a little bit of time, so that other things can be put into place, and then that thing will upgrade. So you'll find that as these things are kind of sitting down and you're focusing over here, parts of this will deteriorate, so then you can put it back correctly on the right foundation, and it has the right components that you will get through working on this stuff over here and its process. Okay, I'm seeing like the Lovers card, so I feel like for a lot of you, you have been doing a lot of your healing through some type of relationship, connection, whether this is love or friendship. For some of you, this is mentorship. This person has helped, well, you both have created kind of like a space where you're both able to reflect on each other and to heal. It has been intense. They're showing me the mountain. So you guys have scaled. So when it comes to the mountain, it's like you guys have been through so much that it's like now you've kind of started to peek out. Spirit is talking about navigation. They're showing me the compass. So it feels like you guys are moving away from scale and you're moving toward a destination. They're saying that the relationship is sat on solid ground, right? Or your growth pattern has solicited a stable foundation. Like you are stable, okay? Whether that's emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, whatever, you have become stable. Spirit is saying now things can be sat upon this foundation that'll make it a very consistent across the board in all areas of your life, okay? I'm also seeing that for some of you, this might solicit a move for you to sit things on this new foundation. For some of you, you will be required to move energetically up from the level that you're at. And for others of you, you and this person that you're in a relationship with are moving to a new level of commitment. So that could be engagement, marriage, moving in together. Maybe for those of you who are already in like a committed relationship or marriage, you might be looking to have kids now. I'm seeing like it's just whatever the next level is for you, you're starting to figure out what that exactly is. Where exactly do you want to focus together and bring something about? Now, for you internally, you're going through a lot of upheaval, a lot of growth, so that you can meet together on a similar level. This person is also doing work, but they're also coming to terms with things about themselves that maybe before they didn't see. Maybe they were things that only you saw or only people around them saw, and they never really put like any worth onto that because they didn't see it, but now it's kind of coming to light and more so like slapping them in the face. So yeah, okay. So here we also have golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. I think through this upheaval that you've been working on for the past few months, the both of you are starting to discover things about yourself, specifically for you. In this new space and cycle that you're closing out, you have discovered many gifts, whether they're psychic gifts, talents, whatever. Things that for some of you I heard lucrative, for some of you I heard restful. So for some of you, you've discovered gifts and skills that allow you to relax, to rejuvenate. For some of you, you provide that for other people, but now it's time to provide that for yourself. And then on the flip side of that, for some of you, you're realizing that these kind of gifts that you're realizing can be used for monetary means, Spirit is telling me to be careful of getting into a state where you're constantly thinking about hustling, and think about your customer. Base what you offer on your client or your customer versus how much money you think you can make, or listening to, they said basic ass business advice. Okay. So I'm also hearing hone your gifts, do the work, be consistent in that. So I have lizard here, dream. So I definitely feel like there is a dream that a lot of you are tapping into, and turtle. So there's no rush on this. Take your time. They want you to get positioning correct. So something that they're bringing to my attention. So for example, okay, don't give examples. Okay, show me what you want me to say. So they're giving me the example of like a car with no engine, right? But you're someone who likes to build cars. They're showing me like someone getting in the car and pulling it apart and putting it back together and adding new pieces to make it more modern with the body of an old car. And they're saying this isn't a rushed project. This is something you put together piece by piece with intention, with personality, with love, with awareness, with a certain type of energy. And they're saying that this energy curates the space, it curates the whole, it curates the vibe that is experienced, whether that's with you, with a business, with a relationship, whatever the case may be. But I feel like whatever you're putting into this, Spirit is saying take your time with it and love on it and put the pieces together. Now, for some of you, some of these pieces feel time sensitive, and Spirit is saying, they said not every opportunity is limited. They're giving me the example of, let's say for example you have a Connect, right? And you know that you need a new engine for a car. Like, we're gonna keep the same car example. You have a new engine, but your friend has a Connect with the guy who is selling the engine that you like. It may be like a really great engine, but it's not necessarily the one that you want, right? But it's about same caliber, right? And it doesn't have a lot of miles on it. Like, it's really good. And you're like, oh, I can't pass up this deal. But it's almost like Spirit is saying, don't be so fast on it. Like, this isn't the time to rush. Like, take your time, especially because your bank account isn't looking right for the purchase. You know what I'm saying? For some of you, there is like this energy of like honing things and like putting them together and curating them to be better. They're showing me, they said this is your last like move. So for some of you, you've moved energetically, shifted. Some of you are looking to move like actual space, like go into a new apartment, home, condo, whatever. I feel like for a lot of you, like this is your last move to lock into your timeline, to lock into your like destination for the lifestyle that you're seeking. Okay. And I'm also seeing structure. So the reason why Spirit wants you to take your time is because structure here is super freaking important. They want you to really think through the structure, the feel, the way that things are kind of coming in. And if you're in a relationship, I want you to think about this, like the boundaries, the way that you communicate, the way that you solve problems, the way that you guys come to a decision. What structure are you guys basing your relationship on? Is that spirituality? Is that religious? Is that Is there like some type of underlying theme? They want you to think about the structures that you're putting together and really mold those in super tight. Get it together all the way, right? With Child of Earth, I feel like in Child of Earth, you're typically looking at the world and you're letting the world assist you in navigation. I feel like Spirit is saying, don't look out, look in. Don't look out, look in. Base what you do about what's going on in the inside, because if your inside is too volatile, you're not going to make right decisions. So you need to look inward, work on this in here, get out all of this stuff structured in your energy body, in your emotional and mental body. Work on those traumas, okay, so that you can lock into make good decisions from the inside out, not the outside in, if that makes sense. 2 of Create. I feel like you want to be super creative. You want to be super on point, but Spirit is saying chill on that right now. Continue to execute on what you've already started. There's a lot of things where you want to start something new, and Spirit is saying lock in what you already have. Stabilize what you have before you start asking for more. And a lot of this is because of the internal fluctuations and cleansing that's happening. Now is not the time to start. It's time to start the new thing, but it's like preparation, whereas instead of execution. So there's some things that need to be prepared for. So let's say, for example, if you get engaged, you're going to need to start thinking about what resources do you need to have a wedding and blah, 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 right? So there's all these little components. If you want to move in together, are you moving in with each other? Is one person going to give up their apartment for another? Are you both going to go to a place and find a place together to start over? Are you looking for a house to move? You know what I'm saying? Is this we're getting together and then going here, or is it I'm going to come to you and move into here type of situation? I feel like there's a lot of planning and logistics and conversations that need to be had as you're moving about this kind of shift. Spirit says don't move hastily, move with precision, think things through, think longevity, think how will this affect me in 5 years? Within a year, where do I expect to be? What do I expect to do? They're also asking me about financial goals. So what are your financial goals leading out into the future, and how does that impact where you're going to stay? Will you have enough room to put into whatever investments or save, or be able to invest into different things that you're wanting to do, right? For some of you, you have kids, so they're asking, does this leave enough buffer, right? So I'm feeling with this structure coming in, and then you actually have some more of these, I feel and when you have this 2 of Create, I feel right now Spirit is telling you that you're kind of in your way. So the best way to get out of this funk, I feel there's this funk that you're in, and it has a lot to do with things that happened in the past, right? Things that we're still dealing with that are mostly over, right? It's over, but it's not over inside. So having to sit down and work on that, because you can't create anything new if we're still living in the past. If we're still hurting in the places where that creation is supposed to come out. Creation comes out of love. It comes out of healing. It comes out of being able to express, right? But if there's certain parts of you where that creation is supposed to be developed and come out of, that is stagnant, that is stuck, that is holding on to things, that is telling yourself you can't do it, or you're not worthy of it, or whatever the case may be, whatever that internal thought is, it's you need to sit with that for a little bit and work on it. And it's frustrating because I feel like you were on a streamline, like you were on a timeline, and that entire thing kind of deteriorated as soon as you locked into this space, because it's like this healing for you is not something that you can speed through. It's not something that you can get done real quick. This is deeper. This is like working out of bad habits. This is like working into a more streamlined idea. This is you saying, I want more, right? I want more. And in order to have more, I need to make room inside. It's like looking at, when I was 5 and people used to yell at me and tell me that I wasn't enough, that I couldn't blah, blah, blah. And it's like you internalize that and you're looking at the world outside like that. Everyone is telling you no. But it doesn't fucking matter if everyone in the world is telling you no. Get your ass up and handle your shit. If you gotta bust down the door, if you gotta put on some Doc Martens and kick that bitch down, that's what gotta happen. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there is no real, like, this can't happen. It's just how you want it to go, right? And first, you gotta be feeling big enough, whole enough. Confidence comes with execution, but you need to have your self-esteem elevated enough to be able to support you through that process before it truly locks in, right? And when your self-esteem is elevated, you start to gain more confidence. You start to gain more audacity, right? To lock into the things that really matter to you. And I feel like right now, Spirit is asking you, like, is this something that you truly want? Or is this something that you think you want? I'm sorry, y'all. It's just like, my hair is so big. But is this something that you want? Is this a place that you want to go? This is how you want to feel? Like, wake the fuck up, bitch. Is this something that you want? You gotta do the work. You gotta look inside. You gotta work on it, okay? Queen of Earth, it's gonna take you really seeing the world outside inside. It's gonna really take you looking inside and saying, I see all this fucked up shit in the world, but how is that shit inside of me? Because if I get stuck out there looking at that same shit, some of that shit has to be in here. What's in here that's preventing me from moving forward? For some of y'all, that's patriarchy, because patriarchy is deep off in your relationship and it makes you unhappy. But just like you love that person, but you don't like the constructs and the structure that it's putting on you because it's too much, right? For some of y'all, that's capitalism, right? You don't want to abide by these rules, but you got to figure out, okay, well, how am I using that to become my oppressor in the inside? Because once I understand that, I can change that. I can change how these constructs operate with me, because I'm no longer identifying with it, nor am I letting it make my decisions and run my life. Right? There's this idea that Spirit has said to me multiple times, and the Lord always tell me, like, money is like a spirit, right? And some people who don't understand that spirit will worship it, and those that do make friends with it. They create rapport with it. They understand how to open up the vibrational pathways for it to come into their life in a continuous flow. And then there are those who don't want anything to do with it because they don't want that spirit in their life. But they don't understand, because a lot of them do want it, but they're fearful of it. So they create blockages with it. And just like that, you're doing that with something that you actually want in your life. For some of y'all, that's commitment. For some of y'all, that's love. For some of y'all, that's abundance. For some of y'all, that's worthiness. It's enoughness. It's community. It's friends. It's having people that actually give two fucks about you being present in your life on a consistent basis. And to perpetuate that and the flow of that, you have to start opening yourself while also healing what is preventing that from being present, so that it can ground into your life. As you are developing this new version of self, this new identity, as you are taking steps, leaps, and bounds into new levels in your life over the next year, right? You're here now. This is the space you wanted to be in for so long. You're here now, but you're not locked in, because you're not allowing yourself to be. The opportunity has already locked you into this destination. You can't go back. That's not an option anymore. A lot of you are more than past your point of no return. But what you can do is stop. What you can do is stagnate. What you can do is not move forward. What you can do is deny yourself the blessing. What you can do is ignore yourself. But is that really what you went through all that shit for? Is that what you ran through the fire for? Is that what you fought tooth and nail for? To give up? Because that is like really some bullshit, my dog. If you don't pull them fucking britches up and handle your motherfucking business. Just because it doesn't feel good doesn't mean it's not good for you. Just like there are situations in our life that don't feel good, but them lessons are good for us, because when we get to that next level, we have the lesson to grapple onto, and we know what not to do, what to do, and who to avoid, right? This is like that, but internally. Okay. Okay. The thing is in order for you to create this happy home, you need to be able to do the internal work. And you can't have it without that. You can't keep ignoring that and think that you're still going to get it. And you're being forced to choose if this is the life you want. You're being forced to choose if you want this or that. What life, what earth, for some of y'all, this is an ascension question, right? What earth do I want to tap into? What reality do I want to tap into? What version of my spouse do I want to lock into? Like, what type of friend do I really want to be? The question is, who are you in here? And we all have fucked up shit. A lot of it. We've all been through shit. All different. Some the same. And we've all dealt with it in our own way. The question is, are you going to continue to carry around all that luggage? Are you going to be the bag lady? Are you going to drop that shit? Because it's time to go. It's time to build. It's time to prepare for a trip. It's time to get ready to lock in. Okay? It's time to lock in for some of you. But you got to make that decision. And that decision is made when you lock into you. When you look in here, when you say, I'm worthy of this. I'm worthy of this reality. I'm worthy of feeling whole. I'm worthy of feeling seen. I'm worthy of being loved. I'm worthy of stability. I'm worthy of feeling like I'm enough and I deserve to have abundance in my life and abundant good things happening to me every day, every hour, every minute. I deserve rest. I deserve care. I deserve to be healthy, but not just deserving, but as it should, because you are it. And when you start to be it, you no longer deserve it. Its place is open. There's a place for what you deserve to sit and prosper in your life. And Spirit is saying, prepare the space. Open up your space internally and in your immediate environment, in your home, in where you're going to create. If those of you who are moving, I want you to start thinking clearer about why, what, how, right? We're talking about financial foundations. For some of you, you may be going up in a bracket. You may be learning how to manage your money better. You may, if you're going into marriage, money is important. Going to couples therapy is important, right? So you can understand how to communicate. You can understand how to turn toward each other. You can understand how to have conversations around difficult topics. You can understand what is the dynamic structure with finances. What do we do when we're angry? When it's a friendship, what type of friend do I want? And am I able to sustain that type of friendship? What is it that I'm looking for in that? I want you to think about these things because they feel good to think about until you start acting on them. And then it feels uncomfortable. And then it's agitation. And then it's anxiety or frustration or the compulsory need to control. Get a handle on it, on yourself, on what you're projecting out. Where does it come from? Why is it present? What are my cycles and coping mechanisms that are creating this tension? How do I How do I disintegrate, take apart, right? Stabilize myself emotionally, mentally, or physically. For some of us, that means going to a therapist. For others, it's getting on medication because we're depressed or have anxiety. For others of us, it's starting to have routines on our day-to-day life to give us more mental, emotional clarity and physical exercise, right? For some of us, that means getting our diet together, right? Working on getting our vitamin regimen together, right? Putting in good habits that keep our vessel together and promote higher frames of thinking based on the foods and the energy that we're putting into our body, the content that we're consuming, and saying, I deserve this level of frequency in my life. I am worthy of having the knowledge to execute my ideas and dreams. It's stop letting the whim of the world take you. And yes, Spirit is leading you, but it's time for you to also take agency. Lead yourself. Show persistence, diligence, and consistency. Do the things that feel good to you. Take care of you, right? And through this process, what we're saying is we're getting so much more out of this phase, right? We're getting so much more out of the white phase. We're purifying ourselves. We're becoming more of who we were always meant to be and who we have always been, who have been covered in muck and ideas and frameworks of how the world works, but we're drowning under it. We're suffocating. We're dying and being revived over and over and over again, being abused by the ideas that have literally pulled us apart our entire lives. And right now, you finally have the chance, the time to prove that this is for you, to prove that this is where you need to be, to prove to yourself that you can be that now. You don't have to wait. You don't have to seek permission. Just step in, drop your bags, get comfortable. Get bored. See the truth in yourself. See how you think. See how you play. See what you like. See what you were conforming to that really doesn't even really feel good for real. That was just some shit you was doing to keep the friends that you had. Right? We're shifting. We're thinking different. We're moving different. We're holding ourselves in these spaces different. Because this is what makes us feel whole, seen, not just by others, but by us. And through that, we're opening not just our throats, not just what's going on in the energetic body, but in our solar plexus, we are opening up to create. We are opening up to rebuttal. We are opening up to move forward. You are so present right now. Let it go. Put it down today. You're fresh. You deserve to be that. You deserve to be holy. You deserve to be all that you can be in this moment, right now, and evermore. The eyes have opened to your soul. Now the question is, will you gaze forward and see the truth of yourself? For what you will find is that you are vast, you are capable, and powerful beyond means. Stop being afraid of that power and step all the way in. Tap in and stay in, because this is your space to fill to the brim. Stop sitting in the corner in the closet. Come out of there. Be whole, be seen, be known. You are that one that can feel in this moment the purest you have ever been. Continue to rise, thrive, and move with your highest I. This has been your message, and I hope that you act on it, that you sit with it, that you meditate with it, that you tap in with not just you, the observer, but also you, the one who experiences the everyday, the one that controls the vessel, the one that sees beyond what you can, your higher self, and call down the God self so you can tap into some of that power. because it's time that you actualize and stop letting that ego run your life. I hope that you continue to thrive and live in the movement and guidance of your highest I. I love you. This has been the Alchemical Oracle, and I'll see you in the next one.